is Eric Vale, the voice of Trunks, and you're listening to Chibi No Podcast.
Protect the moon! Oh my god!
Wait, explosion, murder, gun! Dynamite!
Strong.
I'm Swagger!
And what is up, guys? It's time for another episode of Chibi No Podcast. You got me, the Smash fan.
It took you a year and some change to put his voice in there.
I was gonna say more than that.
Wow. So instead of "Hey, this sounds good," or "Hey, no,"
everybody, this is Mister.
no.
How
Hey,
are you doing today?
it's all complaints. Is that right here? All complaints. What do you do? What do you literally do for the podcast aside from just show up
You
and
bring
complain?
laughter
What do you do?
I gave my input.
No, you don't. You don't even
People
edit.
laugh
Get the
at my-
fluff
I
out of
could
here.
edit. I've always told you I could do it, but you don't.
But you
want me
don't
to
do it.
You don't want me
No.
to do it.
Do you
I've
set up the?
asked
Do you set up the cameras? Did you pay for the cameras?
He did help.
Did you pay for the cameras?
I helped pay
These
for
two?
that, and I helped pay for this,
These?
and I helped pay for this, and
Yep.
I helped pay for this, and I helped pay for this, and then I had this table, which is mine.
Paul, when you do crabby, you're freaking.
Why are you complaining? It's all him.
It's all you. Say
I got you that.
He did get you the tablet.
Yeah, that's because I was overpaying for the internet.
You know what? You could renegotiate.
No, you know what?
contract
You
now.
can. No, we can't. Anyway,
For the, okay.
anyway,
Yeah.
we got MisterMister.
And me, Japorian.
Yeah, so Japorian.
I was gonna say really quick before we actually say anything else. Okay, finally we're getting intro. Okay, I have to comment on this as well.
You go right ahead.
When did this happen? 2022.
When did what happen?
Eric Vale recorded.
Don't I don't. It was probably 2022.
Yeah, sounds about right.
3 years. We're in 2025 right now.
Hey, at least it's there.
Anyways,
I was gonna say
All I hear is complaining.
we have been AFK for quite a bit because situations occurred.
yeah,
for
man, what's
everybody.
happening?
And I've been trying to.
Being able all the time, like
No,
waiting for
I'm
you guys.
just trying to fill it in. So fill in why we were AFK.
I don't know. We had stuff just live kids up. If we were gaining money, then
Well, this
that
guy
would take
got deported
precedent.
for a bit, so we have to wait for his
What
fucking.
the heck?
Just kidding. I'm kidding. He went back to Peru. He went back to Peru to set up his stuff, and we didn't want to. We didn't want to miss him, so we didn't want to do anything
But
without
then I
him.
came back though. What
Yeah.
happened?
You were good.
I know,
Oh,
but no, we're waiting on you guys.
There was a lot of other stuff like family events. Stuff was occurring, so it really was just not a good time. But we didn't initially want to do anything without our buddy, so without Paul. So that's what it was.
See, I actually brought this from Peru. I was gonna give it to you guys.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I was hoping for like everybody else to come here because I told you guys when I went back to Peru that I was gonna actually. It's not opening. Bring some cerveza cristal.
yeah.
I was hoping Javi and Jose.
I want Javi to be here, dude.
I know. But here.
I was gonna say, can we drink on this now? It's a bottle opener.
it's a bottle
I was gonna say, if you got this imported, I was like, I'm not a drinker, would never drink, but if it accidentally went into my mouth, I'd be okay with that.
Whoa.
What? That's what she said.
I know, right? But yeah, I actually got this. I was planning to give this the next because I came on the Thursday. I was hoping to meet on Friday to record, but you guys weren't here.
Hey, it's also a magnet. Cool.
It is a magnet envelope openers, yeah. So
Now we can officially say, mira mi gente.
but yeah, I've been holding on for that for over a month.
That's actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. That's probably the highlight of my day.
All right, well that's cool. Yeah,
I'm gonna send this to them right now.
okay. Tell them that we're like both of them are.
We missed them. We missed them. Okay. Well, anyway, as he's sending that, if you guys haven't watched us at all, we're just a bunch of friends talking about nerdy stuff. That's just what we do. It's been over 10 years that we've done this.
Has it been over 10 years?
Yeah, it's been over 10 years. And well, anyway, we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. Okay.
Yeah, it's been quite a bit.
Yeah.
Whole
So
month has gone by or 2.
what?
Has it been 2 months? When was the last time we?
It was about a month.
Dang.
Month and a half.
Yeah. But anyway, it's all good. We're back. That's all that matters. Okay. So anyway, let us begin with okay. You guys probably know that there's always a lot of news happening. I'm not going to cover all of it because
We forget.
well, no, but also it takes like forever to go through everything.
Just give me a highlight.
And I don't want to be here for 3 hours. And no, because I'm only picking some of the newest stuff or some of the stuff that's actually really interesting.
I think is cool. Other than that, everything can go fuck itself.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mister.
In the news? I haven't.
But anyway, let's start with one of the more recent news that came out. So
A couple days ago.
yeah, so Jeremy Renner, I don't know if he was on a podcast. I think he was on a podcast or he was having an interview with someone.
I would assume it was the Joe Rogan podcast because
it was not Joe Rogan. It was some other dude.
I would assume because he recently did that a couple days ago.
I don't think it was him. I don't think it was that one. It was something else. But anyway, in this interview, they asked about like what's happening with Hawkeye. They're gonna do a season 2, and he said that he turned down the offer because they were offering him half of what he was given for Hawkeye season 1. And his response was, let me see if I can read it exactly. They said, they asked me to do season 2 and they offered me half the money. I'm like, well, it's going to take me twice the amount of work for half the amount of money and 8 months of my time essentially to do it for half of the amount. And he just said, he's like, I'm sorry. Says, I'm sorry. Why? Do you think I'm only half the Jeremy because I got ran over? Maybe that's why you want to pay me half of what I made on the first season. So he clarified this. He says, this is not Marvel, mind you. This is Disney. Not even really Disney. It's just the penny pinchers, the accountants. I told them to go fly a kite. I'm pretty sure he said something very differently. I mean, just at the insult offer. So we didn't see eye to eye on that. He says, I still love the character. I still love to do it, but I have to defend myself. I didn't ask for any more money, mind you. Just pay me what I made the first season. So it's all disheartening that didn't happen, but that's fine. I'm happy to let that go because my body's probably thanking me time and time again that I'm not doing it right now, but we'll see.
Okay, I like that they added all the extra information because let's say if you were just a person who's just reading the header, you'd be like, oh, he kind of sounds like an ass. He's greedy for money. It's like he is, in a sense, kind of, not really. It's more so
He wants justice.
Justice of it all, like the principle of it, because he did such a great job in Hawkeye, the show, that like, why would you pay him less? Like I get it. It would most likely be him not going to be involved as much because obviously it kind of seems like what's her bucket would be
Kate Bishop or Haley Steinfeld,
yeah, she would be the main character, but you should still pay the man
I was thinking
the
like
much.
the reason why is because he's probably gonna do like small cameo and all that kind of stuff. But I
Still
don't
pay
really
him.
know.
Still pay the guy.
See, I think so. From what I understand, is they're going to continue doing Hawkeye season 2, but Kate Bishop or Hailey Steinfeld's character is going to be the main focus in the show. So
I mean, they haven't even done any pre-production or anything, so there could still be talks after he did this that the penny pinchers at Disney could be getting chewed out, you know, and then they're going to pay him right and have him be in the show. They could be. I'm not saying that's going to happen. But
I honestly think that I think well, okay, so he says it's the accountants, right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it has to do with the failure of what's it called, Snow White. Like that movie just flopped massively, and so they're like, well,
not just that. It's
maybe we should put money into different things, or just let's see if we can get the same actor to work for less.
I could agree with you to some point. I think too is the shows that Disney had or Marvel had put out with under their umbrella, like the Marvel shows during that time, because a lot of them were just kind of ass, you know. Like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Secret Wars, not Secret Wars.
Secret Invasion was horrible. Yes, I would give you that one.
Well, there was like another show that was
so
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk was horrible. Yes.
So like the only ones that were good were Loki, WandaVision, and what else?
Hawkeye.
Oh yeah, Hawkeye. Those
Daredevil.
No, during that time, not now. Daredevil's
the other one that was okay, like it wasn't the best, was Echo. Echo wasn't a great, but it was okay.
You want it to be there though. So
Agatha All Along was great, but again, it doesn't connect to anything. Except I did hear, I guess, to kind of to go kind of off tangent, they did say that they want to bring Aubrey Plaza back.
They should
in the MCU. I don't know how. I don't know if it's in Doomsday or in Secret Wars, but they want to bring her back.
Secret Wars would be awesome.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but
just like going back to it, I think during that time, like that period of when the shows were out, not like after, is when a lot of that shit was kind of a lot of misses. And
Yeah,
some
but
good
still,
hits.
regardless of that, you should pay your actors what they were.
Oh no! I agree with you. I'm just saying, from their perspective, I'm assuming that's what they're doing.
I guess.
And then on top of that, like what my brother said with Snow White, and they're like, "Oh no, our money was just Snow White. We knew that was going to be bad. We're going to do it."
Because stop making remakes. Stop making like classics.
Dude, that's what I've been saying. You got to stop doing it. That doesn't.
Well, because
no one wants
Snow
it.
White, they're gonna think they're
Well,
considering
the
stopping
live
everything.
actions are just majority.
They're
of them
inferior
are
to the original.
Majority of the time, like 90% of them are just like meh. Like the only and I've never seen any of the live actions. I just could tell they're just not that good. The only one I'm actually looking forward to is literally just Lilo and Stitch. I don't even give a fuck about the Moana live action, which is weird. It's only been how long? 9 years? 8 years? 7 years? Is Moana 1?
I don't know.
And they're doing a live action. That's The Rock, man. He's being greedy. Dwayne, fuck you. Quit being greedy.
Yeah, he ruined DC.
You fucking roided out prick.
Hey, maybe he's not roided. I don't know.
He's in his 50s and he's that shredded. He's taking some shots in his ass.
Back shots, maybe. I don't know.
With side effects.
John Cena.
What's that? All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I hope he comes. I hope he comes back in like some capacity. Like I don't see him not being in Doomsday. He has to be in that.
Did they?
It's not confirmed.
He's not been confirmed. Not yet. We do know that Kevin Feige said the entire cast has not been announced. We do know that they started. They started pre-production a few weeks ago. They're actually
No, this week.
They started Tuesday.
No. They started production, like not actually filming, but they started production, like making the sets a few weeks ago. They started filming.
Weeks ago? That's so short.
They started. They started filming.
Probably
this week.
setting.
They started
up
filming.
the
No, they started filming this week, and then they actually took a break to watch Thunderbolts because Robert Downey Jr. took a picture of the cast or some of the cast.
Obviously, I didn't stay to watch the live stream of all the people that are being announced, but I didn't know Simu Liu.
Yeah, he's in there.
I was happy about that.
He was like the first, like in the first 10.
I didn't see it. I wasn't going to waste.
He was like, I didn't know Iron Fist was in there.
And then what was the other
Shang-Chi?
one? Who was the other dude in that picture that was next to Robert Downey Jr. on his right, our left?
Pull a picture right now.
Oh,
M'Baku?
yeah, M'Baku.
Dude, he's huge.
Oh yeah, he's ripped.
Yeah, he looked way bigger than he did in the show. So I was like, he looks familiar. I just don't know who it was. And thank you, M'Baku. Yeah, dude, I like him. He's tight.
Yeah, me too. He's really cool.
They're bringing we're missing a lot of characters.
As long as She-Hulk's not in it, we're cool.
No, I need to bring.
I think she's in it. I think she's gonna be in
If they
it.
kill her off, that'd be cool.
No, they're gonna do that.
I don't think so.
We have to.
They're not gonna kill her off. They're gonna keep her there just to say that she's there. And I don't know.
No, they could kill her off because
Why?
they're gonna probably kill off a lot of characters in this Avengers, but like the alternate variants, like we're not gonna have we're not getting Shang-Chi from the one we know. It's probably gonna be a different Shang-Chi. We're gonna get a different.
No, I don't. It's gonna be this one because he's the one that's connecting. It's
connecting all the tie-ins.
Yeah, it's connecting the rings. The rings are sending some sort of beacon for something we don't know. It was mentioned in Shang-Chi.
Maybe they rewrote it. Who knows?
They have to rewrite that.
Well, yeah, but they said that's still going to be something. We also know
you're assuming, and that's not right.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna have that in there.
You have a theory.
I know that's gonna happen.
Wow, the confidence of this man.
We should just bring it up when the movie comes out. See what.
And I'd be like, hey, look, do you see that bangle?
You want me to pull that 51%?
See
and when I watch that trailer, I'll tell you what it is, and we'll probably get it right. Like I did for Godzilla. But Godzilla's easier to decipher than Avengers, but we'll try.
So, okay, you were able to see the whole full the chair videos of all the members?
I never watched it.
No?
I only watched the first one, because wasn't it Chris Hemsworth the first person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. And then I was like...
Then it was Anthony... I don't think it was Anthony Mackie, but Anthony Mackie was like the second or third one.
Yeah, I didn't care enough.
Then they have all the Fantastic Four members. And then they also have X-Men. They're going to have Magneto, the original Magneto, Xavier.
Ian McKellen? Ian McKellen?
Ian McKellen.
Nightcrawler, Beast,
Apologies.
Mystique.
The original Mystique.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Nice.
Cyclops, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dang, crazy. You know, we went from-
Sonic's foster dad.
He probably like, oh shit, let's get going.
And who else is going to be there? Thunderbolts. Asterisk.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about later, a little bit later. Yeah.
Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, Paul Rudd was put on there. Yeah, Paul Rudd's in there.
And the Wasp.
I don't know about the Wasp. They haven't announced the Wasp.
I didn't see the Wasp on there, but she could be in there. I don't know.
Question. I don't recall. Did they release the Ironheart show at all? Or
No.
I think they scrapped it. No, it's coming out later this year.
They said they were gonna do
just
it.
throw it away, man. Nobody
think
wants
they-
Ironheart.
Well, there was supposed to be a
That
Don
was
Cheadle
supposed
show
to-
too.
That was supposed
Armor
to come
Wars.
out like 4
Yeah.
years ago, and that never did.
Yeah, there was a whole issue.
That Ironheart should have been. That's like 4 years old, isn't it? Like that thing is super old.
Yeah, I think so.
Like that was filmed 4 years ago. Just can it, or put it in a legacy series. Like this doesn't have anything to do with the main canon. Get rid of it.
They should do it.
Like they did with Black Panther 2. Get rid of Black Panther 2's can.
No.
No, I don't think they're going to do that. They're not going to do that.
Oh, Letitia Wright is going to be in there too.
I don't
Black
care.
Panther.
I didn't like her.
She's
as
the
that.
Black Panther.
Yeah.
I didn't like her as Black Panther, but yeah.
Yeah, she will be there.
It's not whether you like her or not. That's who she is, and that she's going to be in there.
Oh, Gambit.
Oh yeah, he was in the pictures too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in the picture.
Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself.
Exciting.
Okay.
He actually gets.
Where's
a name.
Deadpool then, huh?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
They
know.
haven't confirmed that or Hugh Jackman.
It'd be funny
either.
if that was the way to beat Doomsday. It was Deadpool.
I doubt it. I don't think they could pull anything like that. The comic books, you can do so many different things, but they're not going to do that in the movie theaters.
What if they show a Squirrel Girl?
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Going back to the opening, it needed some rivals, Marvel rivals in there.
I did put Marvel Rebels
I
in there.
didn't hear any.
He did.
It was in the beginning.
I need
So you only heard it once.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
No, he said Armed and Dangerous.
Armed and Dangerous. There you go.
Okay. I missed that part. Okay.
It's okay. You'll hear more later on.
The opening got cooler now.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about the next scene. Is that this news is just. It brings a tear to
Why
my
are
eyes
you
because
sad?
this is sad because this is gonna start a process of everything being made more and more expensive. So we know that Nintendo announced, right, all of their tariffs, announced their games are they're a lot more expensive. They're at least $10 more expensive because games now are about $70, right, for Xbox. And
Originally, that was supposed to be $70 games were going to be AAA games, and then the rest of the games would be $60.
Yeah,
and then
but that didn't happen.
Everyone's like, "No, I want $70 games." And
Yeah,
then
so
Nintendo's
everyone-
like,
yeah.
No, I want more than $70, and then we got fucked with it.
well, so this is what happened. So Xbox announced the prices for all of the peripherals. So all the Xbox Series X and S, you're expected to pay at least $100 more for those. All the games now you expect to pay $80 for first party games.
The prices are higher.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. This is just it's a start. This is gonna happen to PlayStation. I'm pretty sure soon they're gonna announce something like this.
The price. So
Well, yeah, but I just hate this.
especially if you want like the digital deluxe edition, they usually like up the price a little bit more.
Yeah, I hate that this is the norm, that it's $80. And again, these games. Okay, Nintendo. We talked about this. I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. We talked about Nintendo is still inferior power wise to the Xbox and the PlayStation.
Even though you already ordered one.
Well, I didn't get one. Miles got me one. That's different. So let's not get it twisted, okay? I tried, but anyway, and I don't think they're trying to make it a $90 game for Mario Kart. And we saw the direct, and there's nothing that warrants it to be $90. In fact, they took out things that I think were detriments. So, like for example, they took out the fact that you can customize your wheels and everything, which I thought was actually pretty cool. I like that because you can make it, more customized, more like to how you want to drive. And they just took that away, and they're like, no, we're just gonna make it more streamlined. You just pick the cart and that's it. And again, like I don't see the fact that you can roam around the world. I don't think it's gonna be a very long term. There's not gonna be a long term thing. Like people are not gonna do that. Like, hey Friday, hey, let's go for a drive. Okay, let's go on Mario Kart. Let's turn on our cameras.
Actually, that's what my wife says. She was actually looking forward to that.
No. Okay.
Panders to a certain demographic.
Okay. If it's because she also loves
island.
Animal Crossing.
Sure.
right?
I don't know because
Is she gonna do that? She can be like, "Hey, Wise Club, let's go." How was your day today? Oh, it was good. Hey, let's go over here. Let's take a picture. Do you think she's gonna do that?
Yeah.
Well, more power to her. I just don't think that's.
People that do.
But do you think that's worth the $90 price tag that they're wanting to put that they're on this?
Absolutely not.
I need to see more of this. I think
Absolutely
there's going
not.
to be.
The only way that $90 price tag would be acceptable in my eyes is if this gives me DLC season pass 1 and 2. That would be it. Literally, that would be it. Then I'd be like, okay, $90 is worth it. Because if I pay $90 for just the base game, and then they're gonna give me fucking extra characters or whatever DLC they're gonna provide, and have to pay more on top of that, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is why I like PC gaming, because I can just buy the game with a code that's cheaper than the base game when it comes out the day of.
So you're done with the console?
No, because like I said, I was a shill with Nintendo. I like Pokemon, so
Okay, well,
I've already said it. I already said this in the last podcast, so it doesn't even matter. Don't be like,
No. I'm not talking about that. What I was gonna say is the one thing that I actually am kind of curious about is we saw, like, if you're sharing your actual screen, like what you're playing and your camera, it runs like 12 frames a second, right? The gameplay. However, you did see that you can just have the camera on your avatar and play. And correct me if I'm wrong, MisterMister, but because you might have saw it more or been more, what's the word? Maybe look at more detail, but that looked, the frame rate at least looked a little bit better. I can't tell. I don't know. I think it was just because of the game sharing was what made the game. But
it'd probably be 30 frames per second.
Okay, I actually think that actually is for Mario Kart is actually cool if you can have the little bubble, like their head above their avatar,
right?
Because you can see, like, if I hit you with a red shell, I can see your expression, like, you know. I think
that'll be for like the Nintendo Switch 3.
No, that's what we saw.
Yeah, but it won't be perfected till the Switch 3.
Perfected? What do you mean perfected?
Like where it's gonna run 60 FPS and you're gonna see.
I don't care about the 60 FPS about that part. Do you care watching your face change at 60 frames per second?
Like when you're playing and you're facing your friends, you can see like the little bubble of their faces.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's probably not gonna run.
The only thing I worry about the camera is how much trouble they're gonna get with camera. People like, I don't know.
How much what?
Like,
like if someone's naked or something or whatever.
Yeah. Like,
There's gonna be people who are like, oh, my buddy was playing Mario Kart and I saw him and his wife doing it, type of thing.
Stuff like that.
It's gonna happen, and
I really hope Nintendo has some like.
No, it's just
way of
responsibility.
technology and all of that.
It's just
how are they gonna detect it? Like, if they see some little genitalia, they're gonna like have an automatic sensor, like a Mario coin.
Mushrooms.
It could be
like, that doesn't make any sense. They would never put that on They put control, like maybe the camera can only be on for certain games or certain something. I don't know.
Well, I recently did hear that Nintendo's just right now going into people's accounts, and if your name is actually like not in their guidelines, they actually change it. So they're making changes as they go.
That's stupid.
Big Brother. That's who he is. That's what Disney is, or Nintendo is.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it won't be. People won't take advantage of that.
They will.
I know, but I'm just being hopeful.
Well,
But yeah,
we'll see. We'll see.
Xbox is getting in the same category.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're raising their price.
I mean, you guys don't play the Xbox.
I do, because I can play with you.
Just rivals. And
Playing
that's
a free game.
That doesn't matter.
You're
That's
playing
it.
a free game.
That's
Are you
also
gonna
true.
buy other games on Xbox? I don't think so.
Now with the Game Pass that I actually do, I've used it on the Xbox console now, because there's for some reason they have some games on there.
Yeah,
that's not
games
on
that are
not on the
for
PC.
PC and some that aren't, and it's gonna be
The more current games are, but like the older ones aren't.
yeah. So that's
And also
fine.
but anyway.
That's fine.
Anyway, all right. So the next piece of news, I actually am going to turn the time over to MisterMister, because he actually knows a lot about this, or at least knows some about it, because he is in the community. This has to do with Destiny. This actually, I think, started last year. We got an update.
Talk about Destiny? Thanks.
Yeah. Well, okay. You have to watch and see what's going on.
All right. What we got, MisterMister?
So what's going on is Bungie facing new claims in Destiny 2 Red War lawsuit. Ryder alleges Curse of Osiris expansion also stole his work. So basically, this guy, I can't remember his name. He was suing Bungie because in the base game for Destiny 2, the main story is the Red War, and he said that they took that idea from him from a book he wrote and it's published online.
His name is Kelsey Martineau.
Yeah, so he's trying to say that they did that, that they took his ideas and everything. So basically, the lawsuit happened in 2024 of October, and Kelsey Martineau, he says that Bungie's original Red War campaign in Destiny 2 took direct inspiration without permission from Martineau's unpublished science fiction stories under the pen name Casper Cole. So what he means by that unpublished was under his name, under a pen name, and you can release tidbits of it, and then so Bungie said they denied the claims, and so. They've been on this ongoing lawsuit since October, and the judge was asking for a claim about what's it called?
They basically want can you show me the game? Can you show me the story? What's going on? Mm-hmm. That's what the judge was asking.
And so what Bungie has done to keep the game small for people is they did a thing called the Destiny Content Vault. So what they did was they removed parts of the game that you can't play anymore that I paid for, but they removed it to save space.
Why?
Because they're dumb, in my opinion. But they removed that stuff.
The worst is what they did here. This is the best part.
When the judge asked them, show me the gameplay of this story that you guys said that you guys came up with and you didn't take from him. And we don't have that because we locked it in the Destiny Content Vault. So they can't access it. But here's a YouTube video of a guy playthrough of the story. They gave him a link to YouTube.
Are you serious?
Yes, this was about 2 months ago when they said that. And then I think now the judge said, this isn't cutting it. You need to provide me the information for that. So there's in my opinion, there's a possibility that that Bungie will lose this and they'll be fucked.
I mean, the fact that they own the game. They have people that have worked in the game, but they can't provide that evidence, and it's
because they locked it. So, if they were to try, basically, he's saying load up the game on the computer or on your console and play the story.
But when they
can't because they removed it.
But they still have documents, data.
But it's only in there. They can't provide. They can't bring it out to them. Yeah, so that's what's
So they will basically are going to lose simply because they
have a high chance of losing.
They have a high chance because they're not providing the correct evidence that the judge is asking for.
I hope they lose.
Yeah, I hope they lose too because of that. I mean, honestly, this decision for doing this stupid vault thing is bite them in the butt, and so they're gonna lose. And this is what's dumb is they've done vidocs before, right? They did that because remember Bungie made the first 4 Halo games, right? Halo 1, 2, 3, and Reach. Okay, and with each one, they had a vidoc that would show the progression of the game, where they were at in this point or at this point, or just certain features or certain parts of the story or in the development process that they ran into snags or whatever it may be. So it doesn't make any sense to me that they can't provide this.
So here are some tidbits from here. And this is how they line up. This is I think it's pretty damning. So in Martinet's work in the Journals of Young Frenny is what the story is called. Mm-hmm. He writes, the Red Legion just marched through our commune and killed almost everyone. And then in Destiny's 2, the Curse of Osiris provides as follows. When the Red Legion attacked, it almost cost us everything. And then another part. In Martinet's work in here, he writes, through the Red Dunes to the Valley of the Serpents, there the end comes and goes and begins again as one. Destiny's 2 Curse of Osiris provides as follows. It took a miracle to save us. This is our new beginning. And then the last bit. In Martinet's work in here, he writes, that is the nature of things. The universe, the galaxy, the planetary alignment that sits in the eye of a Miyaga. Destiny 2 Curse of Osiris provides the following. The small corner of the cosmos is the only place that is forever ours, and the universe watches us with envious eyes.
Huh.
See how they're similar?
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing, and this is where I want to play a little bit of devil's advocate. What's the phrase?
Inspiration.
Real life is stranger than fiction. Is there a possibility that these could just be coincidence? Always. There's always going to be that possibility. There's a lot of similarities with like that it could just be similar. Like there's a time traveler who's trying to prevent things, and they can see time in both in the game and in this book. I can't remember the name of the person who does the time traveling or who can see the outcome. What's his name?
Osiris.
And he gets it by studying the Vex, right? Or something by the Vex.
Infinite Forest is what he calls it.
Yeah, but the Infinite Forest, but he learns it from the Vex, or he learns it by studying the Vex, something like that with a group of aliens. In Martin Ace, this guy can see different outcomes in different timelines, and he can choose which path to take to get to the most correct one.
Yeah.
So they're similar, but they're not, because at least again, it could be that Bungie was like, well, let's change it so that this Osiris gets his power because of something to do with the Vex, right? So they're connecting it to the story that they've already established to make it not look as that guy. But again, or it just could be that they had similar ideas, because time travel, only so much you can do, especially with fiction.
I know, but then again, if they're very similar, that's a big contrast.
Yeah,
so.
It is. I know. It raises flags. I'm not saying that it's not raising flags. I'm just saying I don't think there's enough concrete evidence enough to be suspicious. But the fact that Bungie can't get the proper evidence to basically say this is incorrect is a joke. And if they lose because they can't provide the evidence,
it's hilarious.
I'm going to laugh.
Me too. And and that's me being a hardcore Destiny fan. But
did you talk about this with your Destiny clan?
No, because it's been like a day and a half.
Oh, I want to hear what they say.
But the one thing I'll say this, and I think it's kind of damning on them, because it's probably lack of QC, is my opinion, is they've had some issues with when they're showing art, like they're doing like art for like Bungie stuff, like in books or like online when they're showing their art. Some of it has literally been I'm assuming has been stolen. They stole it from other artists who made Bungie art, but they weren't, they didn't get paid from it. So like there was this guy who drew like if I recall, Crota. He's one of Oryx's. He's a god. He's a hive god, and he drew him this specific way, and you could tell. And in one of the books that Bungie released, it's like a 1-for-1 shot, and the guy on Twitter is like, wow, I wish Bungie would have asked me if they could use my art at least. And he's like, here's 1-for-1 shot. Here's my drawing I made like 3 years ago, and here's it in the book. So I wouldn't be surprised if whoever wrote the script or whoever wrote the story for Destiny 2's Red War stole it, because it was like, oh, there's some nobody online. I'm just going to take pockets of their idea and form a story and do that,
Right.
So I'm leaning on the side that they're most likely going to lose.
Probably.
That still sucks.
Yeah,
I agree.
No, part of me, like, even if it sucks, I think they deserve it though.
Yeah,
if that's the case.
Oh yeah. They totally deserve it. Like This is. I think it's just that they don't have enough people that are taking it seriously. Because I'm pretty sure they get sued or get like
companies get sued all the time
for
little things and other things. I think the only reason why this is making headlines is because it's so damning and it's a big enough case that
there's just enough coincidences to be like, well, let's look at this stuff. Because I mean, I think he presented. I can't remember how many pages he presented the first time, but for this second claim, I think he presented 56 pages of like of things that are similar in the stories. If I remember correctly, something like that.
If you have that many pages and it's that similar, like I think you're kind of fucked, in my opinion. But
I don't know. Again, we're not lawyers.
Yeah,
obviously.
that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking. I don't. Yeah,
but at least it has to be evidence, though, like proper evidence.
But if you can't provide that evidence, then that's why. That's what.
Well, they did provide evidence. Just it wasn't good enough for them to.
Here's a playthrough, guys. You can watch it. Just like, what the heck is this? I'm not gonna spend. You show me the actual real stuff. And they're like, well, the thing is, it's locked. You're like, what do you mean it's locked? It's not available. Like, what do you mean it's not available? That's the thing. Is like, you think as a company they would have some version of that first and second stories, like somewhere that they can access.
You have backup data.
Well, not just that. I think you have to like play it. I think that's what he was wanting.
You have to show the assets.
Yeah, but I think they did show it. They showed someone's playthrough. I think
but I'm not talking about the playthrough. I'm talking about if they're for a designer or for a developer, they can show the code. They can show like.
Well, I'm assuming there's probably something they can't do because of whatever. I don't know that kind of stuff. So maybe that's why they gave the judge a video of it instead of their. That's my assumption. I don't know because I'm not a coder. I don't do programs. I don't do that kind of stuff.
I mean, it could be just like I don't know.
Then I can see it. But like if the judge is like, no, you need to provide it because you guys wrote this, and you guys can actually release it to people and play it, and then I can be the judge of it.
I think the worst thing is just like you can't provide it.
Yeah,
you just have this video and just like this video's like someone played it. You're like, okay, but I want to see.
See, that's what makes it suspicious.
I agree with you guys. I'm not saying I don't. It's just funny.
Oh well, I guess we'll find out in a week or two.
No, this will probably end of year. We'll probably get an answer. This has been going on since October, so this is probably we won't get an answer till end of year.
Yeah, probably
my assumption, but
probably. Okay, we're gonna keep the spotlight on MisterMister here because he actually got to see a movie that I didn't see, and I frankly forgot that it was actually coming out. But this is the Miku dance, the Miku movie, anime movie. What's it called?
I don't know.
Miku's
I just
Revenge.
went to the
Miku's Revenge.
A Vocaloid that can't sing or something.
Yeah, something like that. So, MisterMister, I wanted you to tell us what was this movie about? Like, because obviously, I'm going to say obvious. I don't know if you're a fan of Miku at all, Hatsune Miku at all, but I know that she is huge in Japan. She's a big following
since the late 90s or early 2000s. I can't remember.
And she's a Vocaloid. I don't know if she's the
first.
the pioneer. She's the first one, and probably the most popular, right?
Yes, it was basically a software that was created that provided.
Yeah, so basically this guy wrote it, and then he made the keys to make her sing with like the save things. So it grew from there.
And so it's been so big that there's been she's been in she's collabed with actual artists, other artists in their songs. She's been in different animes in some way, shape, or form.
Well, and she's iconic because so she's going to be in animes in the sense of like if you're like a slice of life anime and the person's like listening to music or they have a keychain, it's going to be a Miku keychain.
It's not even that. I don't know what anime it is, but there's this little clip that I've seen like a few times where she's in an anime. I don't know what it is, but she buys a green onion. She's just kind of just walking around and she's walking, and this random chick, she was like half mermaid or half something. She like jumps up, takes a green onion from Miku, gives her 100 yen, and then leaves. And she's just like, "Well, that onion was only 90 cents, so I'm gonna go buy another one." I don't know what anime it's from, but she's been in like other stuff like that.
I mean, she also has concerts and all of that.
Yeah, she has concerts, and so she also has video games, which is what this movie is kind of like referencing.
What's it about?
Yeah, so tell us now.
Okay, so this movie is called The Miku Who Can't Sing. Basically, what's going on is, I'm assuming, because I still don't get some parts of it, but this Miku is going through different worlds. I'm assuming
Multiverse.
Yes, because each person she meets or each group of people she meets, they're not in the same. They're in Japan. They're all in Japan, but not the same Japan that they're in. Because she can go to different. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. It just sounds funny that way you say. Yeah. So she goes to different universes or timelines where there are different groups of kids in Tokyo, same time, same year or something, but just different groups of kids or just okay.
Yeah. Because all these kids, these supposed kids that are the main ones, they can go into a place called Sekai, like their own world where their version of Miku exists with like Miku's group. That's how they do perfect.
Okay, wait. So okay,
yes.
So the main Miku of the movie travels to different universes or timelines, but each universe and timeline have their own Miku that they like or whatever, and they built or they made a world
that they go into.
Go into that world digitally.
I guess, or magically.
Like
I don't know, magically?
Digimon?
No, not Digimon. Like magically, I think it's magic.
It's an isekai.
That I guess.
But she's electronic.
Either way. Either way.
No, you're fine. I just wanted to make heads or tails of this.
Like I said,
Okay.
the first part was weird.
Go right ahead.
So basically what this Miku's trying to do is she's trying to sing to people who are lost in a way of like they're afraid of their failures, of not being able to do something.
They lost their way.
Yeah, like a good example is like there's a guy who's he's a mangaka and he's trying to draw and he's failing and he's getting mad. Then when she tries to like go into his computer and sing the song, she's like blurry and digitized and he can't hear her. She sounds staticky. And he's like, "Go away," whatever. Like, he's yelling, kind of thing. And then
Go away, I can't handle it.
The people who, I guess, the people who already have their Mikus, like their Miku worlds, they can see her. She pops up in the girl's phone, and she sees like the girl playing the guitar like on stage with people like they're in front
So
of the
Miku fans can see the Miku trying
Miku
to
can be
talk
seen
to
people who want to see, and
they can hear
who don't have who don't
loneliness, who don't have lostness, who don't have
like whatever that
darkness?
is. No, not darkness. Like who don't have
depression,
I
anxiety.
guess. Like they
Or
don't
happy.
doubt in themselves. They can, the ones who can see her are the ones who don't have.
So
doubt
all
in
the ones that
themselves.
can see her right now are confident, and they can hear
They
her
don't
sing
have
as
doubt
well.
in themselves. Yeah,
They can hear her sing. Okay.
Yes.
But
But
making
she's-
sure I understand.
but she's never. This Miku has never sang a song fully. She's only has one song that's she's had, like that's she's trying to sing to people, like to the people that have that issue, that have doubt in themselves, that they're kind of suffering. in
But
that
the Miku fans can hear that song.
sense. Well, she's trying to sing it. She wants because she doesn't think she can sing. So she's throughout the movie. She's asking him, "Can you teach me how to sing? Can you teach me how to do this?"
Oh,
And
okay.
then
Okay.
so, yeah.
I'm starting to piece it together. Okay.
I'm not.
So yeah,
but whatever.
it's really drawn beautifully. It's a really cool anime. The first 30 minutes for me was just kind of confusing because I didn't understand a lot of it.
yeah.
Just you're just going through the motions of the characters and how she is and what she's trying to do and what her goal is to go to people. And
How was it?
it was really good, actually. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Really?
Because, like, at the end, without any spoilers, they want to interpret her song because something happened. So they want to write her song, but in their own way. And so there's 4 groups or 5 groups. There's a boy girl group, like 4 of them. So they do like street dancing, and they sing like hip hop with pop. And then there's a girl group who's like an idol group, and they sing their song. There is another girl idol group who is more like darker sounding, and then there's like a girl rock group. That's the last one.
Can you expand on
And then the 5th one, there was 5. And then there's like a group that works at an amusement park, and so they do like a play, and they're making music with their play.
Can you expand on this dark? I want to hear like what's the difference.
Basically, like
So they didn't.
so the darker girl group is like, what's that one anime we saw that had the opening, like Soul Eater's second opening, like how that's very dark sounding. Like that's their main
So
song.
like a goth.
Yeah, like a goth. And then the main girl is the other pop girls are more like
the more like
bubblegum pop. Yeah, like
Okay.
yeah, that kind of stuff.
All right.
okay.
So they do their thing, and then the ending happens, and then good things happen, and then Miku sings her song, and she gets super bubbly, and
And then she can sing.
she sings and all this stuff. It's really cool because the way that's cool. She goes through she goes through technology. Like that's how she can move through worlds. So
It sounds like Digimon.
So like she's going through people's phones, and then like when she's doing her song, she's going through like like in when we go to movie theaters, they have like the digital poster, or not the digital poster, but it's like a lit up poster for like the movie. But in Japan, it's a digital poster because it rotates other stuff. So she's like running through it or in doing her song and dance and going through all of it, and then she goes through like a projector and just turns this big thing, and she's singing and everything. It's really cool. Like I was like, okay. Miku Dayo. I was like, I'm cool with it.
Wait, you said what?
Miku Dayo.
It's Miku.
It's Miku.
I know what it means. I never heard MisterMister say that.
Yeah.
So
Horrible.
okay, what? Because you went with your buddies. Like, were they interested? Like, did they play the game, or what was their interest? Why would they want to go see the movie?
So my buddy Irvine, shout out to Irvine. He got into her because Fortnite brought her in, and then he's like, oh, she's cool because she's like one of her emotes is like 1, 2, 3, Miku Miku beam, and so like he's like, oh, cool. So he listened to some of her stuff. He liked her. And I liked her because her and Godzilla are buds. Listen, literally this. Every time Godzilla gets a collab with somebody, Miku literally gets a collab with around the same time. So like when Godzilla got in, Miku got in like 2 weeks later. So it's like, and originally the creators of Hatsune, they're like, I don't want her ever in Fortnite because she's never going to shoot a gun. She's not a threat. She just sings. That's all she should be. And what do? Goji's here. We gotta. Boom, 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 boom.
Well,
did you call him Goji?
Got permission though.
Yeah, with permission. Yeah,
They got permission.
yeah, they got permission.
What is their attack? What did she say in the Fortnite? I want to see.
No, I already said.
I want to see it.
You can YouTube it, anyways.
Miku.
Miku Beam.
Do it.
No,
I want to
And then
see it.
Our friend Carlitos, he's a big Hatsune Miku fan. He has a Ford. I don't want to say Focus, but he has a Ford car. But he put a Miku
Wrap?
He has a Miku wrap on it.
I'm pretty sure he's nowhere near the fan if you compare it to Chiporion's Evangelion fan.
Oh, they're probably on equal terms on that.
Oh.
No, it was
I don't
funny
know. I
because-
don't know.
because
I don't
It was
know.
funny. He was telling me because he didn't know the movie was out. He knew it was out in
See,
Japan. but he
that's
didn't
why-
know- No.
that's why he's not a
he
real
didn't know
fan.
about the days because he works graveyards. So
Not a real
doesn't
fan,
know his time zones. He doesn't know his times. But he went to some place that was next to the theater, and he saw people dressing as Miku. He was like, "What's going on?" And he drove his car, so he went to go. I think he went to go get food, and he just saw a bunch of cosplayers like on his car. They're like posing as Miku, and then he's like, "What?"
They're on his car like, what are you guys doing here?
Well, because it's the Miku car.
Yeah. It's his Miku car,
Yeah, it's it, yeah. And then they're like, "Oh, yeah, the Miku's movie." Oh, and then he went and watched it that day. When he heard
snap.
that.
Did he leave work? I'm like,
No,
I'm
he
sick.
liked it. He liked it a lot.
No, I said, did he leave work? Was he at work?
He finished work.
Oh, he finished work. Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a solid film. It's just if you don't know anything about the game or whatever, you'll be lost for the first 30 minutes. I'm up believe at that. But like the animation is really cool. It gets really dark. The music's actually freaking fantastic.
Really?
Yeah, all the music is good.
Oh, well, that's good now.
Yeah, I enjoyed it overall.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I would say like a 8
8
and a half
Gs.
out of 10.
8 cheese out of 10.
Yeah.
I like that. I like it.
I was gonna say that's pretty good. Yeah, I'd probably check it out. Dang.
Yeah, we'll see.
Talk about movie though. I have to mention because I noticed that you didn't post it in here. You recently shared a trailer for the new Mamoru Hosoda's film.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
He's a guy who did Summer Girls, Girlhood Through Time, Boy and the Beast.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
So
So before that, they've actually been doing. They're going to be doing, or they have started. I can't remember. Doing theater runs of each of his movies.
yes, and they're gonna be releasing 4K because they have the new rights.
Yes, and I'm excited for that.
Another company, I think G-Kids, on the rights now, so they're releasing everything in 4K. So, I mean, because they have the rights, so they're gonna be releasing those in physical media in 4K soon.
That's cool.
But he basically is making a new movie, and this movie is coming out, I believe, in November or December.
Is it called Winter Wars?
It's called Scarlet.
Oh, is that one you showed a picture of?
Yes, that's the one.
Eh.
And I'm
What man?
kind of intrigued because most of his stories, most of the movies that he makes are
The retelling
actually.
of Digimon, but a different way.
He also did Digimon.
I know. I said
Yeah.
he retells Digimon, but in a different way.
That's
Summer
what-
Wars was Digimon.
Basically, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He's retelling Digimon in a different way.
But I'm talking about like he actually directed the Digimon movie.
I know.
So that's why like I feel like everything is connected. But
That's why it looks so good.
That's why it's the same story.
usually his movies
It's not the.
Summer Wars and Digimon were the same story.
it's different.
It's different.
Okay,
have to
one's a
watch the movie.
bunny, one's with Greymon. Okay.
No,
Get out of here. You know what? Okay, Japan, just keep going.
Okay,
He's
so carry
making me
on.
mad.
His movies are usually very thematic. Like the first movie that he did after Summer Wars is motherhood, fatherhood, bring a brother and sister. So the fact that he actually brought another movie that it's also Belle, of course. I forgot.
Oh, that was a trash movie.
No, Belle was really. I think Belle overall was actually a really, really good movie.
People do
I
like
think
Belle
there
a
was
lot.
there were some things about it that I think the 3D, the CGI on parts of it weren't the best, But like when it did shine, it shined very well with the CGI, especially near the end.
Sure.
I think this, like, most of the stuff is really good. I think the story felt kind of flat to me.
It does that too, and Scarlet looks like it's going to be CGI as well. Yes. At least from the trailer, that's the poster that we saw.
Yes, it gives like Brave from Disney.
Yeah,
like a powerful girl that likes to fight. For some reason, it actually remind me of Attack on Titan in a bit as well too.
Weird.
The way that it's presented, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to that. It's actually going to be seems like an interesting movie. So.
Okay,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
we'll test it out.
Yeah.
Alrighty. All right, guys. It is now time to talk about Thunderbolts.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
No Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay, so we've done this before. These reviews. We're gonna try and do. Well, we are gonna spoil the movie for you, but we're gonna do it as a spoiler-free talk first, and then we're gonna talk about spoilers. Does that sound good to you guys?
All right.
Okay. So Thunderbolts came out
yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday from the time of this recording. So May 2nd is when we're recording right now. Just to kind of give a premise of what's going on is that if you've watched trailers, I'm just going with trailers. They say there's no Avengers, right? If you saw the Captain America movie, there are no Avengers. That actual team is just non-existent. And so they want to find some sort of replacement. And that's how the trailer portrays Thunderbolts to be. Like, it's going to be a replacement for the Avengers in some way or some in some capacity. And it has all of these people that...
The B-side characters.
They're the B-side characters, the C-side characters. Like, some that you forgot that were even in the MCU. So you have obviously Yelena. If you don't know her, she is Scarlet Witch's. Oh my gosh, Black Widow's quote unquote sister. They're not real sisters. You have their quote unquote dad, Red Guardian. You have Bucky. You have Taskmaster. You have U.S. Agent, and you have Ghost.
The power of love.
And so basically the movie is them trying to band together and to stop a threat. The threat in the trailers isn't like, it kind of says it kind of infers or implies that it's I forgot her name now. Julie Louis-Dreyfus' character. I forget her name.
DeFontaine.
That's her last. Yeah, DeFontaine. But
it's still correct.
So it's her character, and we know that she's been trying to make some sort of new hero, and we see that in the form of this character named Sentry that's in the trailers, and then something happens, and it's up to the Thunderbolts to basically save everyone. That's kind of the
easy way to describe
easiest.
It is like if Marvel were to do a Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Here, I think, okay, so I want to talk about a few things in this movie, just kind of not linear, but just a few things.
All right.
I think they took, they made this movie really grounded as much as they could. There's some stuff that are just not grounded at all because of, the powers and that happen. But like all the characters have like a really good, like grounded story.
Yeah. Obviously, if you look at it from outside, from just trailers, all the characters
have messed up,
have
issues,
have a lot of issues. Bad things happen to them in their past.
Yeah, and what's funny, I think the good and / bad thing about it is for at least most of them, you understand why they're working or why they
do what they do.
Why they're doing what they're doing. The other ones, not so much. So like, if you watched Black Widow movie, if you watched Falcon the Winter Soldier, like you understand about U.S. Agent, you understand about Yelena, why they're working for DeFontaine. Yeah, DeFontaine. We don't really know much about Taskmaster of why they took this, because Black Widow just kind of, it doesn't really leave much to what happens to Taskmaster. And Ghost, in the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, she hides or she escapes with her dad, and so how she gets involved with Defonte, it just doesn't tell you in the movie.
Yeah.
So I was kind of just like, how did they get to this point where she's doing this kind of quote unquote shady things or working for a shady person? I was kind of interested in that, but they don't really show that,
No, they don't.
No.
which
But
was interesting.
It's
But
implied that they have been doing works for DeFontaine.
Yeah, they've been doing work for quite a while.
yeah,
The thing I did like, I mean, and it's, I would say in the realm of it, it's a spoiler. It's spoiler, but it's not spoiler. The movie's only like 2 days, like in the timeline of what the film is, which I like because sometimes I feel like the movies are just like, oh, something happens and then it's like 2 weeks go by, 13 months go by. It's like, bro, what the heck? Like I get it, like you're getting involved with, you're getting into the film. It's getting you, set up and involved. But this, I like how it was slow but quick pace at the same time because it was only 2 days. So I was cool with that. In my personal opinion.
I think I like, so one thing that happens is in the trailer they show kind of like these times of each hero like self-reflecting about things in their past, and I thought they were going to explore more about that, but they actually kind of kept it very like they kept it like very like surface level, which I mean is good and bad.
Yeah.
With how they did it, so I was okay with that. I think those were, to me, like, those were some of the biggest flaws, and the ending just felt like it, like the climactic
in a way, just without it being rude. It's not a spoiler, but it just felt very abrupt.
Well, it's because there's like this big, there's like the big battle or the big conflict, right? They end the conflict, they finish the conflict or whatever, and then like maybe 2 minutes pass, 3 minutes pass, and then it's roll credits. I'm like, did I miss something?
You know what? I was gonna say, I actually do enjoy this aspect, and then the reason why is because I like that it's very contained. They can easily like go into different characters and dig a little bit deeper. But the fact that I feel to me is more of an emotional movie. I think for me the resolution make a lot of sense and the way they was presented.
Yeah, and on top of that, like they weren't trying. So the thing is, they weren't trying to dig deeper into everyone else's background. The main character, obviously, in this film is Yelena, and the trials and tribulations she's going through. So if they were to take 10 minutes to go for U.S. Agent, 10 minutes to go for the other characters, the movie would be way too long.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd be way too long. I would have enjoyed it a little bit.
I get you. I get what you. No,
or something
it was 2
like
hours and like 45 minutes. The movie's long.
Yeah, it's long.
That movie didn't feel long at all. It felt short.
Wow,
to me.
That's the reason why. Like, I think it's a good job that they managed to make a movie that's it's 2 hours and something.
Yeah, so it's not like super long. It's probably on the shorter end. I think. I'm pretty sure it is.
Way, they would have made it way too long if they would have do that.
I don't know if it made too long.
I was gonna say, I think they make emphasis on this. Not also was Yelena, but also the new character they introduced, Bob. I think overall, I do feel like if they were to spend more time in the other characters, I probably lose focus. On what the
because
main
I mean,
characters are.
With U.S. Agent, we already understand how he is and what's going on.
That's if you watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's if you watched it.
And
because I would say
but
this.
like in
I
the
think
movie, you kind of get a glimpse of what happened, and then they tell you in the movie what happened, how he was a decorated war hero, and then how everything happened.
Well, I think what they did with this movie though,
Invisible Girl, whatever. It's like
Ghost.
Yeah, it's just like you don't need anything deeper because she tells you what her.
Well, this is the thing. Like, is they made, and this is maybe my personal gripe, is they made U.S. Agent or Wyatt Russell. They made him such a dick, and if you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, he is, but he has more of a redemption near the end of it, and it just doesn't reflect well. I guess for the most part of the movie. I mean, again, maybe that's just how he is, and maybe I missed it in Falcon and Winter Soldier. But I just kind of felt that they kind of regressed him a little bit.
I don't think so.
I think so.
Well, in the comics, he's kind of like that the whole time. So
Yeah.
it kind of works how
I
it's
think it
supposed to
actually
be.
makes a lot of sense. I feel like this particular point in the chapter of this movie, he has been hurt a lot by all the things that have happened, and he's bitter with things in life.
Yeah, I mean, if from what we saw in the film, like there's reasons why he's acting the way he is.
And the fact that
He's kind of like a no consequence type of thing.
right, I think everybody in this movie feels like they're broken, have like a dark past.
They all have
Which is good, yeah, which is fine.
What I like
They're
about this
bad,
movie quite a lot.
group of misfits.
Because they make me care. Like, I remember when they announced that they're going to have this kind of cast for this movie. I was like, this doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's kind of like what can we scrape at the bottom of this barrel here?
yeah.
Like, oh, hey, there's those people that people
Right.
forgot
I
about.
was like, this is just a knockoff, like 99-cent Justice League type of BS.
Right. Especially, like, for me, prior to this, I hate the Red Guardian. I find him to be very annoying.
I never saw anything from him, so I couldn't hate
He
him.
isn't Black Widow.
I know that. I'm just saying, I never watched Black
Along
Widow.
with
So
Taskmaster as well. I think those two characters were, like, horrible. And then Ghost is like, oh, whatever. And then Yelena, whatever. But the fact that they made me, like, at the end of watching this movie, like, at least have more empathy or, like, sympathy of what they're been through. Like, okay, this is an expected story.
I was gonna enjoy it, not enjoy it, but I guess I was more interested because Yelena was there. I liked her character from Hawkeye, the show, but it's a very different turn because like a lot of the emphasis of the film is more so on their dark past and trying to make
want to
amends.
make it
and
better,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, and so like it wasn't like her. I guess it is her facade, like being cheery or chippy or being funny.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
so it was cool. I'm fine with it because I liked seeing her character have more depth, and it for me, I enjoyed that a lot.
yeah, I mean, I did like it too. It's what I want to say about that. I kind of wish I still feel kind of Bucky gets kind of the shaft, even though he's really good. Like, here's the thing: he was an assassin. He knows, even though he was brainwashed, he knows how to fight. He knows how to do all this other stuff.
Well, the same thing with Yelena.
Yeah, but he's also 105 years old. He did this for decades, and it's like I feel like that knowledge that he should have is kind of not used enough, which sucks. I
He
mean,
was more so like a chaperone for this film.
Yeah.
I'll say that he was
I
the
feel like
chaperone.
there's that
He was
living
just
tissue
he was
connecting.
just the
no, and that's fine. Like again, but again, the thing is like when it comes to fighting or comes to combat intelligence knowledge, they really only show one part where he's like, oh yeah, because there's a part, and this is in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling anything. There's a part where you see all of the people that are in the Thunderbolts. You see them all tied up in the trailer, and you see Bucky has them. It's like the implication is Bucky got him. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to see. Like, how did he get them all there? We see some parts of it in the movie, but not like how he like gets them all there. And that's what I want to see. Is I want to see Bucky being this great fighter, because like in the MCU he should be standing at least toe to toe with Captain America. He did that in the Winter Soldier, but ever since then he's kind of just been like a joke. In Civil War, he throws a punch, and Spider-Man. This is funny. Spider-Man just grabs him. He's like, oh, cool, like nothing, and he gets toyed with.
It makes
But
more
with Captain America, when he fights Captain America's like, oh, I'm strategic and I can do this and that. I'm like, and Winter Soldier can't. I just feel like Bucky gets like the short end all the time.
It hasn't been short. Like I said,
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why he gets the short end.
I feel like his responsibility in this movie is to be like that connecting tissue between the old and the new, and trying to help build this.
Yeah, I get that. I just wish he had more.
Would you want him to be more of a teacher?
I mean, he could be like a guide. I mean, he's in a way because he was guiding people. Like, hey, I know you guys are doing something horrible, but we need to do something about it. And,
Yeah, you think you just want to see more of that?
I just want to see him be like this person who has all the knowledge that he supposedly has.
He does, but he's not a leader.
But but he's a fighter. That's the thing. I'm not telling him to be Captain America, but he knows how to fight. Again, if we watch Winter Soldier, if we watch Infinity War or Endgame, he's not fighting. He's just shooting people, which again he's done before. But we see how he does hand-to-hand combat. Winter Soldier, we saw how he takes them down.
Like more physical hand-to-hand combat to be like happy.
Well, I just want to see him be the fighter that he has. Like even in Falcon and Winter Soldier, right? It took him and Sam to take down Wyatt Russell, which makes no sense to me because That guy just barely had the super soldier serum.
Yeah, we have to understand who is he fighting in this movie.
No, but that's even before that. Anyway, the point is,
it's called turning the bad guy good and weakening him, so that
I just feel like he's been weakened just overall.
That's just how it is with movies, and I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. I wish it would have been. Yeah, it's the same thing with Thor.
They did that with Hulk though too.
In the sense of like Thor had so much growth, and then they reset him in the third film, and then he had growth again in the third film, and then they reset him again to be the stupid idiot. And it's like. That's why I don't like any of the last two Thor movies.
I did want to bring up just two things before we go into
in that sense.
I do want to bring up two things that I thought were really cool in the movie before we go into like our score and the final and our spoiler talk. In the beginning, they did something with the music. I don't know if you paid attention.
Oh, for the intro?
Yeah, for the intro.
Yeah.
So they started normally, but then. First of all, the logo, and I guess it's a little bit of spoiler, the logo goes black. Mm-hmm. And as it's slowly going black, you hear more and more instruments missing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. I love when they do stuff like that.
Yeah, me too.
The other thing was we'll talk about the post-credit scene. There's two.
That'll be the spoilers.
We'll talk about it later. But this is, if you want to know more like how do you look at this? It's basically like the Avengers, how they had a mid-credit and a post-credit scene. You know how in Avengers, right, the mid-credit scene, they show Thanos. It's like a big thing, like, what the freak? And then the post-credit scene is just them eating shawarma.
Yeah.
So in this one, it's kind of like the same, but reversed, where the mid-credit scene is more like an inside joke, more like a nod to something that happens in the movie, like what they talk about, like what they want to happen.
Yeah.
And then it's the post-credit scene that's like the big, I'll say Thanos type of like feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we were both like,
spoiler, we're not going to spoil it, but spoiler, if you're paying attention to the credit scenes, you'll see something that you read because you're like, that wasn't in the film. What does this mean? And then it's part of the post-credit scene. And you're like, well, if I can do my math correctly with 1 + 1 = 2, I think this is what's going to happen. And it did.
Yeah. And at the end, we finally figure out what the asterisk means, like what that was intended for.
Well, like about that is that I didn't get spoiled. I think a lot of people did get spoiled.
Yeah, neither did I.
Everybody like, okay, well, let's see how everything goes. And the whole premise of an asterisk. This is the first time that a movie has an asterisk that I know of. I think it's a genius move to indicate and eventually tell you during the movie what's this all about.
Yeah, because I don't think in the beginning of the film they don't say Thunderbolts, right?
Not in the beginning. They say it in the middle. I think it's first like in the middle.
They show like the title of the movie, the Thunderbolts. They don't do it in the beginning, right? They do it at the end.
I don't remember.
If I recall, I think it was at the end, and that's what they showed the asterisk, and then what happens afterwards, which is cool. I think that's cool. I loved it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, me too.
I think it was a fun film. I'll say this. Are we going to ratings?
Yeah, let's go to rating.
Okay, I'll say this. Fun film. It was really good. I don't think it was 96% good.
96% good.
Dude, the critics were blowing this film, like slobbing on the knob there. It was really good. I think there are some things that could have improved, but they did the best. They did really good for what it was. And I think what made the film better for people, like given it the high score, was probably coming into that film with low expectations because
I think that helped out a lot too.
It's the rejects of the films. They're like, hey, and then you enjoy it, So I would say 8.5. It was a solid film. 8.5. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was really good. Fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say in addition to that, I do feel like the fact that they made me care about the rejects.
Yeah,
was a lot,
I love how we call them the rejects. It's true. It's true.
The whole show, people make fun of like all the characters in there. I mean, I think Bucky was cool, but I think for me, Yelena and Bob, and even like the Red Guardian, like were really like good characters. Like, I think I care about everybody except even Ghost, like whatever. If even though we didn't get to know more of her story, or
She was useful because of what her ability did.
Right.
Well, here's the thing: is if you compare her ability to everyone else's, she's actually one of the strongest ones.
Yeah.
She's not a super soldier, but she can go through any material.
Yeah, she's very
did
strong.
I did like that they did explain her powers a little bit more, because in Ant-Man and the Wasp, we know what she can do, but it wasn't explained
fully.
And this one again doesn't explain it fully, but it gives you more of an explanation of how her power works, which
Yeah.
I did enjoy and I did appreciate.
Like I said, I think that really got to me the most, apart from having a good cast and trying to care for the members, was actually thinking about I think it's a movie about mental health. Actually, I think about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you get to the what's the word? The
Antagonist.
no, like when it's at like the most intense moment,
The climax.
the climax. It's literally about like the mental.
Right.
Like it's all mental. It's all up here. It's all like, because obviously when we get to certain parts of Yelena, it's a mental thing. She's having this mental crisis within herself, and then everyone is having a somewhat mental crisis within themselves. And then when it gets to that part of the film, it's literally just a mental crisis where you need help from somebody.
Yeah.
And yeah, they did it well. Like it was a great interpretation of mental health and mental crisis and whatever. And so, yeah, like I said, they did it well, because like if you say it out loud and you're not seeing the film, it kind of sounds stupid. Like, oh, mental health, they're trying to do like some stupid Republican.
No,
you're doing the preachy stuff.
Think about
This
this.
is really
It
stupid.
really makes me care about each particular character,
same.
because they know
I
that
did.
they're all broken.
Yeah.
And they want to do the right thing, but they only learn how to do all of this because that's what they do, right? But being able to gather them together.
They're used to breaking stuff instead of fixing things.
Right. And even like some of how it starts and how you get introduced to all the characters. I think it was a really cool.
Yeah, it was
way
good. I
of
liked
writing
it,
this story.
yeah.
With that being said, like I think if I were to give it a score, I definitely like this movie quite a lot. I would probably say between 8.5 to a 9, especially for I guess this is the last movie of the Phase 5.
No.
Yes, this is the end of Phase 5.
This was? I thought.
I'm pretty sure this is the end of Phase 5.
So I believe
I'm pretty
so.
sure this is the end of Phase 5. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, there's not a lot of big competition, but among all the movies that for this particular phase, I think this movie is one of the movies that stand out to me
Yeah.
a lot.
I think this movie clearly showed what's the word? The quality of it matters more than the quantity, because remember during that time for Phase 4 and the beginning, Phase 4, it was more how much we can push out than how good it was.
Well, yeah, they had a lot of directors, and not directors, the head of Disney CEO.
So there was a lot of stuff going on, but like I think when they were
the
writing the
strikes,
script for this film and
COVID.
getting things, they really like nailed it in the sense of like giving you that, not the traditional old Marvel feel, but more of a fresh take of what it is, and I think they did it well.
Yeah.
Yeah. With mine, I'm a big sucker for like the way music is done, and I really liked the music on this. I like that it was really grounded. It did what Captain America tried to be, which was a very grounded movie with some sort of not cosmic, but but a supernatural type of enemy or supernatural type of thing in the movie. And I think the Thunderbolts did it very well.
They did it way better.
And Captain America just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. And I think they did it. They did it just so well, and I really like that. I have a few like little gripes, like how they get together. Like initially, I watched it and I was like, I got kind of a little bit bugged. I'm like, these guys are supposed to be super. At least one of them is a super assassin. One of them is a super soldier. The other one can go through walls. The other one can replicate any fighting style. Did he name all of them? Yeah. And it's like, but how they got together is like, it's a little unbelievable, but whatever. There's just a small little thing. But
I say for me, I think it will actually plays well.
See, I will talk about that later, about what I think about that. But again, overall, I'd watch the movie again.
Yeah, same.
I like the whole asterisk thing. Like it did. I was like, why is that there? The mention of Thunderbolts. So we thought it was with Thaddeus Ross. Not Thaddeus Ross. What's his name?
Talk about Harrison Ford. Okay,
yeah,
right?
Is it Thaddeus Ross?
General Ross.
Yeah, General Ross. So people
Ross.
thought that it was that the name, at least for the movie, was going to be named after him.
Yeah,
like because he is Thunderbolt. It's not.
Thunderbolt
So
Ross,
yeah, but again, I liked what they did with it. It was a really good joke. Sometimes they did like the whole thing where it was supposed to be serious, and then they throw in like in a Disney type of joke, and it was kind of ill placed. Didn't happen very often, but it did happen sometimes. But overall, like I'd watch it again. It was really enjoyable. I gave it a solid 8, almost an 8.5, somewhere between there for that movie.
Yeah.
cool.
Nice. So if you guys get a chance, go watch it. It is fantastic. Okay. Now we're gonna go into spoiler talk. So if you don't want to be spoiled, don't. Finish here. I'll put the time frame of when we finish the show, and then you can watch it from there. So we're gonna start the spoiler talk in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Where do we want to start with spoiler?
Sentry.
So we didn't talk about Sentry that much in our actual regular talk. Sentry is, I think, the power of Sentry, the introduction of Sentry and the Void, I think is very hard to do in this movie. It was very hard to do. I think they did a good enough job, but there's a lot of questions that come up to mind because, like, first of all, like, what was she doing? What was what was it? Devontae. DeFontaine. What kind of experience was she doing to get Sentry to be that powerful? Because I was thinking like maybe it's the super soldier something that she's trying to replicate, but like no, this guy is way stronger. He has telekinetic powers, or at least some sort of something like that, and he's the power, of 1,000 suns, and he shows that, and it's like, but how did she get this? Because there are no Infinity Stones to power them like they did for Wanda and for Quicksilver.
That's part of the issue that I had with the film was they didn't give you an explanation to it.
To what? To the fact that.
So what did they do for Sentry to be so powerful? Because this isn't the super soldier show. This isn't, because we saw that he's way more powerful than all of them.
That's an experiment that they were trying to do, and
but look what it did. That it gave him the telekinetic powers.
Sure.
Right. The power to fly.
Sure.
And as far as we know, I guess from what we know in the MCU is that that we've only ever seen this when they've experimented with the scepter, right? Which was an Infinity Stone. That's how they got Wanda and Pietro their powers, right? So it's like, but they don't have that. Those stones are gone. So where is this? I don't know where are these testing? Where is this like material or this serum or whatever it is? Where's it coming from? Because and here's the thing is in the comics, Sentry. So the Void is like part of him,
right?
Okay. I think they alluded to that a little bit, that the Void has always been with him, but because now that he's become Sentry, the Sentry, it now is amplified, and so now the Void can basically take over his body if something happens to him.
Well, not to mention this is the first time actually using it. He can't even control it.
Well, here's the thing: is because what was it that triggered him? Because he got killed, quote unquote killed,
right?
And that's what switched him to the Void.
Right.
So it's not like he can't control. Well, again, I don't know. They never said that he can't control it. It's just he quote unquote got killed, and then he switched to the Void.
Well, they have to somehow activate it, right? I think knowing that the movies only takes place in 2 days.
Yeah, about 2 days.
They have to be able to provide some kind of connection.
But they didn't provide enough what went into it. It was more like,
how are they gonna do that? The way I see it, well, we want to, and especially the Fontaine was mentioning at the very beginning in the movies, we need to have some kind of defense because We don't have any.
Earth
The
Defense
Avengers.
All the Avengers are gone.
Yeah, but she
So
did it
I
under the
didn't know
impression
what
that she could control the Sentry, which
Yeah.
proved not
And
true.
I actually like that as well because it kind of reminds me of another show called The Boys because it basically talks about government. What if the government were actually trying to control superheroes? And when they introduced Sentry with his outfit and all of that, it kind of reminded me of the show. And I feel like, man, this is going to go crazy. This is definitely going to be wild. What if you actually were to give powers to somebody who has like depression, right? What would be the outcome of that? And I guess...
Well, it amplifies all of your qualities.
Right.
So like
And
with
especially him who has like a mental, I guess he has some mental issues in the past that also gets amplified through the Void, right?
yeah, so that's why we saw like U.S. Agent in Falcon and Soldier. He was a lot more emotional, which led him to do bad things. But like for Rogers, right? For Steve Rogers, like because he was already valiant, it made him more valiant and more selfless.
Right.
Yeah. So with this guy who had depression, who had all this other stuff, like again, but that's why like did the amplification make his depression so strong that it becomes the Void? It doesn't like explain
It could.
much about the Sentry, which again, I think the movie could have been great without Sentry. But they needed something to like tie it up and to get to the end that we got.
Yeah.
I do gotta say
Because at the end, right? He this is another thing I'm kind of confused about. Is he says he can't turn into the Sentry, but I guess what he meant by that is that he just doesn't want to use his power. See, I think he always has it, but he just doesn't want to use it because if he does use it, then he's quote unquote the Sentry at that
the very
point.
beginning he didn't know how to use it, and basically you actually get them. I guess the training montage, which is a really short.
It's not even a train. He just says like she just says try and do this, and she's like Bob is like that's all we get of a training.
But I do gotta say the actor who plays Sentry, like he is definitely. I felt a connection. Like I could he seems like a funny
Who
guy.
is he again? What other show is he on?
It
A
was
movie?
Top Gun Maverick.
Oh yeah, that's what it
He's
was.
Bob in that movie,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And initially, that role for this character was supposed to be Stephen Young, who was also...
Which I'm actually upset that it wasn't him.
Well, you know, the reason that didn't happen is because he had a commitment. That's why he did the Mickey 17 movie.
Yep.
And that's why they decided to go. So I think this new character, the actor, he plays well. I actually fell for him. I think he was a really funny person, and I think...
But I wanted him to be, because I love him in The Walking Dead.
I mean, he's
Like,
great.
I love him. He's so good.
He's definitely great, and he also does Invincible too. So like a superhero stuff, right? It's unfortunate that he's not there, but the fact that they got somebody who can definitely feel like, hey, I can see that. I really quite enjoy a lot. I think for me, Bob or Sentry and Yelena were actually the main stars of the show. Like I mentioned before, I do feel like they are the ones who made that connection to be more of a personalized experience between them than having all the characters and introducing all their pains and sufferings. Yeah.
So here's a question for you guys. Were you surprised that Taskmaster actually died?
No.
I would be like, I was telling you before, I would be surprised if they didn't kill the character. Because even in the whole promotion material, you don't get to see it quite a lot. And I think I read an article that says, this is before the movie came out. One of the characters, we know that it's going to die. Can you imagine who or something like that?
I just figured because, like, they're only in the promotionals, and the only time you ever saw her in the trailers was during that 4-way fight, and that was it. And then everything else after, she was never there.
No,
so
they
like,
CGI her at the tower.
they CGI'd her in the tower or in the elevator or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't remember seeing that. So either way, yeah.
But yeah,
I thought that she was going to die. I just didn't think it would be that early. I was like, she didn't even do anything. Like, here's the funny thing is, like, if you watch Black Widow, right, she has this actually terrible backstory. Like, if you remember, was it Budapest?
Yep.
In Budapest, right, Black Widow explains that she was a target and that she killed him, or she allegedly killed the little girl who ends up becoming Taskmaster. And so she has this whole backstory, and the dad is like kind of brainwashing her. She gets out of it, and now she's working for Devontae or whatever, and now she just gets killed within like it was just kind of weird. She gets killed. She's supposed to be able to replicate everyone's fighting style, or at least all of the original Avengers, and now she just gets.
Well, I'm glad that they won. She may have one line in the movie, but I gotta say, I like that it was quick. I like that,
and then she gets killed. She's like Yelena.
I like that it was kind of early in the movie as well because it sets the tone like, hey, we're bad guys. We if we want to, we can actually kill each other. Which I do like the fact that they mentioned that. I feel like once again, Taskmaster. I want a proper Taskmaster like in the comics or like the ones in the games. I feel like this character. I'm really glad that they can get rid of the character.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks that she. I mean, I don't know. I never saw interviews with her and what she said, but it'd be like, yeah, you watch the movie. I'm only in there for like 5 minutes.
Hey, she still got paid.
See, and here's the thing that I had an issue with is how do they get? Okay, these are master assassins or master investigators, or they know how to do intel, and it's like, how is it that Yelena is the only one that caught Ghost going in there, but like the U.S. agent didn't, or was just hiding in plain sight, or Taskmaster? Like, how did it not all at one point someone be like, someone's following me? Like, I would assume that they could figure out someone is near them, and it's just they don't notice until they get to the end.
They didn't show that, so I mean, they can easily assume that they already knew where they were going through.
Plus, there's also maybe one or two elevators.
Yeah.
Like, if someone pushed a button to go down the elevator and it's taking it a while, we're like, maybe someone's already here.
I also like that very beginning of the movie as well because they actually, apart from their fight, they have to work together in order to escape.
I do like that. That was actually really cool.
So I definitely do feel like the way that was organized in a way, it really fits with what they were trying to accomplish, and I really buy it. And that's the whole thing. Like, if you convince me, if you were to tell me like 5 years ago that this is gonna be the best movie that Phase 5 is gonna have, I'd be like, no, you're lying.
Well, it wasn't that hard to do.
But
I mean, to be fair, that's also true.
And care for all those people, really. No. But no. It goes back to what I was saying. Like, I really feel like they make a more of an emotional connection when it comes to whether they're fighting and what they're trying to overcome in order to be better. Because everybody's there. Even the very beginning, Yelena was like, I have a void in myself. I want to become better.
Void?
I want to be like somebody who does a good thing. And even today, like, I end up watching Black Widow today just to figure out, like, what is this something like worth?
It's still Black Widow is just not a good movie. It does a lot of things I'm just like, but like, it does with them introducing Yelena does a lot of good.
Right, I think that the narrative from Yelena, even in the Black Widow movie, is like, hey, I feel like I have a family, but once everything is ripped apart and Natasha dies, and everybody's doing their own thing, I feel like by myself. I have a void. And now she kind of has like something that she was yearning for. She wanted to be public facing. She wanted to do something good. She wanted to make. I don't know. I feel proud that she's doing something better for herself.
Much.
So,
yeah. I think that, and I've heard everyone say this, and before I watched the movie, like in non-spoiler reviews, and then when I watched it, I thought the same thing. But what's his name? David Harbour, who plays the Red Guardian. He's so good.
Oh yeah, he's funny.
I don't know what it is about him, but just everything that he does just brings a lot of light to an otherwise dark movie, or the dark characters that are brooding, that are having the issue. He comes in with a lot of the comic relief, and it does it so well.
Yeah, it's not like it's being forced. Like in the other movies, they have to like throw that singer to like, a Marvel movie. I think for him, it feels very natural. And I think the reason why it works well is because he feels like the dad of Yelena, and he always wanted.
I mean, he is the dad,
yeah.
I think what's funny is like I think one of the best scenes that have to be scenes that I think are just way good would be obviously when they get out, that fight with all of them and they get out,
right?
And when
Bucky?
but when Bucky catches up to Red Guardian in the limo,
That's pretty cool.
because like they're getting chased, and this limo can't go more than 55 or 56, and he's like, it's bulletproof, and he's like, I push the button, and he like puts on like all like the pony song comes in the back with like, and he's like, hand me the vodka, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's drinking, and like it was ridiculous. He says it's bulletproof, but clearly it's not. Like U.S. agent White Russell, like he shoots the shots and he just pulls up his shit. It's like that. None of this is bulletproof. Like it was just fantastic. Then he's happy that Bucky's there, and then Bucky shoots like boom. It was just so good.
See, it kind of reminded me when I was watching the What If episode. What if Bucky and Red Guardian were teaming up together?
Yeah,
I was like, oh man, this is kind of annoying. But the more I care about the Red Guardian, I feel like, okay, yeah, I can see that. It definitely works.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Like they introduced like who he was, you know, with the Soviet Union,
right?
Because that's when he was the Red Guardian,
right?
And like how I think what I wish they did is they kind of made him or shown his strength a little bit more. They did in the movie a little bit, like when he saves the girl from the debris that's falling down, but it still wasn't like super like strong, even though he's a super soldier. It just, again, I just think that they're not showing him as much, even though he should be on par or somewhat on par to White Russell and to Bucky, right? Am I wrong in that?
I feel like Bucky's a lot stronger than him for sure. I don't think they're on par. I think Bucky, I feel like before Sentry, I think Bucky was the strongest character in the movie.
I think it's Ghost, because Ghost can literally like put her hand in your chest and just.
I guess so.
But
yeah, what else? We're gonna talk about the asterisk.
Oh, the asterisk. So, this is where I had an issue with the movie. So they finally like get Bob out of the. I don't even know what you call it, the void. I guess
he was inside the void,
but the void is actually a person. That's the thing. Is in the movie it's a person, and apparently. It takes everyone that he affects into their own like little hell of bad moments that they had in their lives, and they just keep reliving it, and they just go to different rooms of different things that they did wrong. They get Bob out, which again isn't explained too much because he was gonna kill or try and kill the Void, but then become the Void himself. It doesn't make sense. That part didn't make sense to me. But they stop him and they escape. And then Devontae is like behind like this debris, and they're like, "It's over, Val." Oh, it's Val. There you go, Val. It's over, Val. And they go through, and there's this press conference, and that's where she announces that they're the new Avengers.
Yeah.
And then it just like it ends, and I'm like, that just seems so abrupt. That I think that's more than anything. It's just it felt abrupt.
I think for me, it kind of felt something along the lines of like the whole "I am Iron Man" or "Hey, we're gonna call Spider-Man to be the new Avenger," but they end up not doing it because he makes the choice.
Yeah, but this I don't know. This one just didn't feel as. It just felt so. But see, that part happens like there's a lot other stuff that happens before we get to that point in both of those movies. So it's like I don't know. It just seemed like it finished. Whoops! It seemed like it finished way too fast. But I did like the little montage that they did after. So they had him like in all these different like magazine covers and interviews and all this stuff. They called him the B-Vengers. They end up living the dream that Red Guardian wanted, which is to be on the Wheaties box. And that's like the mid-credit scene. Is he's in the freaking store, and he's like telling this lady to go buy the Wheaties box, and he's kind of insinuating that it's him, and she's like, okay, and she grabs it and then she puts it away. I love that. I love that. I love that. Oh, I also love that for whatever reason, U.S. agent, he doesn't get a new shield. He keeps the bent one that Sentry did to his, and he just never fixes it. He just keeps it that way.
That's awesome.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, he could fix it himself. It's not vibranium that he's using. At least I don't think it is.
I don't think he's strong enough.
He's not strong enough.
No, that's what he was thinking. Like, he mentioned something on the line. So I wish Sentry come back so he can come
I'm pretty sure he could do it. There's no way that he's not strong enough to bend metal. He can do that.
I don't know. But yeah, so Avengers.
Yeah, those are the new Avengers, and so that's where the asterisk is. They were Thunderbolts. That's like the placeholder name, and they're actually the new Avengers.
I like it, and the reason why is because, sure, it's abroad. You are not expecting any of this.
Well, not abrupt, not because that they're called the new Avengers. Abrupt that they just ended after that announcement and it's done.
I feel like that. I don't know.
Like it was. There was just not. They just barely. They literally just barely got Bob out. They go to Val, and then they're announced as the new Avengers, and then it ends. Like, that was so abrupt to me.
Yeah.
I think for me, it played well. I think if they were to talk a lot more, it will lose the value of, like, well, you're not the Avengers or something. I think there's going to be, like, a better explanation.
Well, no, I'm saying they could have added something.
Like what?
I don't know. Just something. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The post-credit scene is where things get really interesting. So first of all, it's 14 months later.
And you get to see a new Avengers logo.
You see a new Avengers logo, which it looks a little bit more bulky, the A. And it's just it's a different style. And we find out that Captain America, or Anthony Mackie, or Sam Wilson, he's not approving, and he actually wants to trademark the Avengers name. I think why he's doing this is because Ross wanted to make the Avengers be part of the government, and he didn't want that.
Yeah.
He does realize that the Avengers need to come back, but he doesn't want to be under the government, just kind of like how Steve Rogers was. Whereas this new Avengers, they are under the government. And I think that's where they have this impasse. Because we also talk about, and this is where it kind of gets interesting. So, Bucky says that Sam is wanting to, like, not sue, but, like, say you can't be called the new Avengers or the Avengers. They're saying you can't do that. And Bucky went to go talk to Sam, and apparently it went poorly. I don't know why. But my thing is kind of had to do with, I think they kind of talked about the Accords, and I think Mackie's still like, we have to do this on our own. Like, it's our own thing. We can't be under any government. And maybe, Bucky's like, well, we should be under the government because of X and Y. Maybe, I don't know. It doesn't go into detail, but it goes poorly, and so I don't know what's gonna happen with. I don't know why that's a. I guess my question is why that had to be a plot point, because it might be something in Doomsday. Do you think that's going to play a part?
I think so, because since all these characters are going to be the new Doomsday movie, I think there has to be a connection so that you can bring it into the story. Because if they were to say, "Oh, we're not Avengers," how are they going to help in the?
But then Sam will. I guess they might just get a different name. Like, again, I'm thinking like they're going to have the Avengers and then the new Avengers, kind of like how they have like the Young Avengers, or they have the West Coast Avengers. Right. Might be something like that, or I think they're going to stick with their name, the new Avengers.
I don't know. I think they definitely have to set up so they can continue with a particular plot, and they can just be called to help because they're Avengers.
But it's been 14 months. I don't know what's happened between them, because we know that this movie, timeline-wise, does take place after Captain America. We do know that much.
Yep.
And so a year and 2 months have passed. We don't know what's happened. I guess we're just kind of gonna have to wait and see what they tell us.
Yeah, especially me. I'm kind of, well, I don't know if we're concerned, but the fact that we also have the whole Daredevil plot into like what's happening in New York, how is that gonna play into this story?
Well, here's the thing: is
it doesn't have to, but
here's the thing: we don't know. We don't know the time, like when things have finished.
That's
because remember, I'm trying to think of all the time. So when Spider-Man happens, right? Spider-Man happens, Daredevil's there, and then sometime in that year, he also goes to California to meet up with She-Hulk, and then after that, he has the whole thing with Daredevil Born Again. And then after the events of the first episode, or within the first episode, a year passes. So I'm trying to put all the stuff in their respective years, but I think just it's hard.
Have to wait because there's so much that we don't know, and they're only teasing us with just one small part. I did like though that this when I saw this preview or on after credits, it really reminded me of the first Marvel after credits, like a very simple, hey, we're setting up for the next movie. I did enjoy it quite a lot, and the thing that I like the most about this is like, hey, we have some abnormality in the space, and before we go into that, so something that they did say in the movie, which I hope they explain more, maybe in Doomsday, is they say that there's already been some space crisis, something happening in space. They don't say what, but then that's where this happens. So there's something already happening in space, sort of space crisis.
We've had two things. There's Sword is in space, and then
there's Sword,
Shield, Sword.
Oh yeah, but
Swords in space.
Yeah, but what?
And then on top of that, the Marvels film, when that happened over there, so that probably that left an anomaly. So things like that.
It could be. I don't know. So, but it could be. Yeah, you're right. You could be. Things. But then they say there's an interdimensional rift. And then as we see the spaceship, we're like, what the freak? And then you see it turn, and there it is, Fantastic Four.
Exciting.
They're officially in the Earth 616 or whatever Earth you want to call it. They're in the main MCU timeline now. So this, I mean, I guess it just already answers the question of how are they going to connect them, or how are they going to get to Earth 616? Well, they're going to time jump, or they're going to whatever jump through the dimensions or timelines to get to this one. How that happens or why that happens, we don't know. People have been theorizing based off the trailer. Someone said that they think that the Earth will actually get destroyed on their timeline because of like a scene that you see Sue Storm, and she's looking down. It looks like she's looking from a ship and she's crying, and they can see destruction in like the window. So they think it's because the Earth is being destroyed. We don't know, but we do know that based off the trailers that Reed Richards was looking for a way for time travel or for some sort of interdimensional travel. We know that from...
But we don't know why, right?
We don't know why.
See, I have a theory on this. I don't know if it's going to happen, but my theory is that Fantastic Four are actually from our universe who go to space for some reason, end up in a different, space environment, new planet.
I guess that, I thought of that too, but the question is like, okay, that's what happened, then... For some reason, but they make a big deal about them going to into space in that universe that they're in right now. They're trying to go, and then for some reason that's where they get their powers is in that other universe.
Well, yeah, that's what I see.
So I wonder how they. Well, I guess maybe it'll answer like if that happens. If that happens, I want to see how they got taken out of that or why.
Right. I think there's a lot of missing pieces that we don't have yet.
Well, we gotta watch the film.
Right, for sure, because it hasn't come out. But
in 2 months.
About
July, right? July 25th? 2 months.
So I think, well, like I said, it goes back to this movie. I think it really builds excitement for the next movie, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do next.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, that's it.
Cool.
That's it, guys. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching, guys. It's always a pleasure to do this with everyone, and remember, you can always listen or watch this episode first on YouTube. And then if you don't like watching the videos, you just want to listen on the podcast, they're going to be on Spotify, Podomatic, Google, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. It's going to be other 2 weeks later. You always can follow us on our social media accounts on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Chino Podcast, capital C, capital N, capital P. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys later. This is David the Smash Fan.
MisterMister.
Joe Boyan.
And this is Chimino Podcast. Have a good night, guys.